Hello, my name is Mia, and yes, I was just going to tell you how I come over here. I was at school. I was at school. I come from a family of 10, and I only known eight of my siblings. Eight of my siblings, yes, eight including me. And uh, my father, uh, my mum and dad were a minister in Tonga, and I was the second last in the family. So, so in our shifting around, because my dad used to shift from one island to the other ministering, we our schooling seems to suffer sometimes, and we went into one island, and I was um, young, very young, and we sit grade six, and I caught up with my brothers, two brothers above me, and we set our final school at grade six, and I just happened uh, to pass to the most exclusive school in Tonga. But my brother wasn't able to. So there was a dilemma there because I'm a girl. There was a dilemma there whether I should be sent to uh, down to the mainland to go to school, or would they send my two brothers? And at the end of the day, I was only 11, so I didn't know how significant that is. But it's probably that's the turning point of my life right at that moment, because in Tonga they like the boys to be educated and the girls you got to be pretty bright to get up to be more, to be chosen to go to educate rather than the boys. At the end of that year, my parents talked to my brothers and said that because I passed to this school, that I should use that opportunity to go and see what it's out there in the, with the education. So I was in a small little island, so I had to go by boat and go into the mainland, and of course, I didn't have any family there. So, I mean, in close family, but I did have my first cousin there, and they said that I can go and stay with them. So at 11 and a half, I shifted to the mainland away from my family and went into this high school. And in this special school, you're not allowed to talk in Tongan. Oh, I didn't say that at the start. I'm a Tongan, coming from the South Pacific, and it's the only kingdom still left in the Pacific Pacific region. Um, so I went in to the mainland, and I went in and stayed with my first cousin, and I went into to school there. My parents could not afford my fees, so my older brother went and grow some kava, and they sell that and pay my education, some of my education with that. In the meantime, I was in grade seven then. When we went in grade 10, this special school, they are much more probably higher education than any other school in the little kingdom of Tonga. And we did what is more or less like the higher living in Australia. We did that at year 10, whereas all the other schools did in year 12. So I was one of the pilot pilot class to sit it and see whether we were successful uh, in Tonga High School to sit it the same as the year 12 in all the other school. So we said that, and we all passed. I think it was only two out of 160 that didn't pass, which is one of the highest pass in Tonga. So with that, I went into year 11, and there was this special um, thing from the scholarship from the Leeton Rotary Club, which is in New South Wales, Australia, and they put out this scholarship for the for two Tongan girls to come over and learn nursing, general nurse, in Australia. And there were around about probably 300 applicants to this. And I just happened, one of my schoolmates, who's my best friend at school, she said, "Oh, look over there, Mia, you should really apply for this. You should apply for this scholarship because my sister was a nurse. She was the best nurse in Tonga." That's what I thought. And then I said, "Well, I don't know." But I was very good in maths and science. And so was my best friend. We were only two girls out of how many boys in maths and science. And I thought, oh, I don't know. So anyway, they dare me to apply. So I did. I applied and sent the application for the scholarship. And I was only 17, and somehow or other that you have to be 17 on the due date, and the due date was the 29th of March, and my birthday was on that day. So I was 17, so I've got to be the youngest applied to the scholarship. And I thought, oh well, I'll just apply and forget about it because I won't get it. But God had other plans for me. So I applied for it, and then I forgot about this special scholarship. And then one day the school principal called me to the office, and he said, "Mia, you have won this scholarship to go to Australia." And I just could not believe it. And I said, "Oh, can't be, sir." But he did ask me how old I was when I first walked in to his office, because I had two plaits and dragging a school bag on my shoulders. And I sat down and he said, "Do you realize where Australia is?" I said, "I know." I said, "It's so far away, but I'm so excited. If that's the case, I'm really, really excited to go and explore the world." And then he said to me, he sat me down and he said to me, "Are you really 17? And I said, "Yep, I'm 17 when I applied for the scholarship," because I remember. And he said, "Well, you are successful, and so is one of the other girls from another school." And I said, "Oh, thank you so much, sir." I said, "I will go and make Tongan proud." So the next issue for me was actually tell my parents, because I didn't tell my parents. Neither did I tell the people that I stayed with, because I thought that I wouldn't be successful because I was too young. But my maths and my science was actually A's. I had A's in those two subjects. And then I tell my parents. When I tell them, they were ecstatic. And then I thought, wow, I must have done something right here. So they said to me, "Well, that's the best news ever. God must have got a plan for me." But my dream when I was younger and when I was at school is to be the first female doctor in the kingdom, and with my best friend. And my best friend went through and carried our goals. She was the first female doctor in our little kingdom of Tonga. But I went early, and maybe I was impatient or whatever it was. But God has another plan for me, and I have never ever regretted that. I've been here for 53 years, and as a nurse, 52 and a half as a nurse. And I've done, I can say I've done God's proud, being a servant to people who need me. But as I will go back to when I came, and then I told other people in my family, and they were so ecstatic for me. And at that moment, I did not digest that Australia was actually far from a day trip in a car, and because my little kingdom of Tonga is so small that you can only use half an hour going at 40 kilometers an hour from the one side of the little island to the other, and you're there. So the magnitude of Australia, it wasn't registered in me. So I was so excited. The minister said to me, the minister of schooling said to me that I've got 2 weeks to get ready and hop on a plane and go to Australia. And I was so busy in trying to do everything there with my family, getting passport and all that, that it didn't register to me that when I leave to hop on a plane, that it'll be so hard to actually get back. And but my dad, my dad was a very, very wise man, and he just encouraged me and said, "It's a blessing. It's a blessing for our family to have you go." And I sort of look at my brothers, and I feel so sorry for them. I feel sorry for my brothers that I was chosen to be educated. They went to school, a different school, and when I left and when I finished nursing, every time that my brothers asked me for money, I sent it straight away without no grumping, no nothing, because I know that that's why I'm there. I'm there to also help my family at home. So just go back when time for me to leave. It was, it was so surreal that I'm going to say goodbye to all my family. But God prepared me at first. When I look back, God prepared me. When I was sent to the secondary schooling, I was actually away from my family at 11 and a half. So in that, I was used to being away from my family, but always go back on school holidays. So it was really hard to say goodbye. It was hard to say goodbye to my family, and but my dad said, "Come on." I said, "That is a blessing that each family of us in Tonga would love to have their daughter to go overseas and train and help other people." So on I went, and I know one of his last words for me was that, I said, what is one of the wise words you will give me? And he said, "Do unto others like how you like others to unto you, and you'll be okay in this world." So in I came, and I hop in a plane. I hop in a plane, and come over to Australia with one of the girls. That was because there were two of us also won the scholarship as well, and we came through. In 1967, we came through to Mascot, Australia, and it was in August. And when we arrived there, it was just a gorgeous sunshine. And we both looked and we thought we don't really need our jacket. So we took our jacket off, and we walk down the aisle, and we have a little jacket on, in our hand, in our bag. And then when we step out, we step back in the plane and put our jacket on because it was freezing. It was absolutely freezing. We misjudged the sunshine. We looked through, and we were shivers. We were just cold, and because we were not used to the cold. But the sun was out. The full sun was out. So we hop out in Mascot, and we had somebody there meeting us from the Rotary Club. And then they said that we got another plane to catch to go to Wagga, New South Wales. And we hop on it. And it was just so long. Everything takes so long because in our little island, it will only take 10 minutes or thing, and you get where you're going. So we flew again after a rest there, and we go to Wagga, New South Wales. And that was also an experience and a half. And then when we got there were people there waiting for us from the Rotary Club to pick us up. So once we got out of the plane, we didn't think, we thought that where we were would be close by. And then we asked how long, where we going and how long we got to get there. And they said, well, it will take us an hour. It was 80 minutes, an hour and 20 to get from the where the plane is to this little town called Leeton in the Murrumbidgee irrigation area. So we hop in the car. I was in the back, and with my friend, and then we sort of start traveling. And after about half hour, I just said, how long till we get there? And they said, oh, probably another half hour and a bit. So, and I was really feeling sick in the back because I'm not used to long time in the car. So they have to stop when we nearly got there, stop and let me get out and just get some fresh air. And I think I did puke up on the side. So we got back and we went to Leeton, and we went straight to these people's home, and we stayed there overnight, and then they take us to the nurses' home and meet. There were 4 other Tongan girls there, and we meet up, and it was so good to see them. We were number 5 and number 6 girls that came over to do nursing, and Leeton is only a small little community of, I think the population in Leeton was around about 11 to 12,000 in that little town. But when it's season, when it's summer, it grows, I think, to 17,000. It was full of fruits and wheat and rice. So we got in and meet the other girls, and we met up and then we started our nursing, which was a 4-year course. The nursing was a 4-year course. The Leeton District Hospital, it was a hospital of a training hospital, and we had midwifery, we had children's ward, general ward, surgical and medical, and we had the best time in there. I had the finest memories ever, being introduced to a new culture, new people, and also my peers. I had the best introduction. I was being very welcomed by everybody in there. And we thought the Tongan girls sort of fit into this rural little place. When when we were there, um, the course, the course, the general nursing registered nurse course took 4 years. But during the course of that 4 years, they trying to scale down from 4 to 3 years, and ours was 3.5 years. So the experience in there was exhilarating, and learned a lot in there. I remember when one morning my friend said, "Come on, let's go and have breakfast." And we go down to the kitchen and we had breakfast. And of course, they serve this. Now I learned later, spaghetti on toast. And for me, they look like worms. I look at it and I almost puke. So I said, "What? I'm not gonna eat those worms." So that was a really introduction to the new culture that I was going to be in, and I learned how to eat spaghetti later on, but I didn't have it that morning. Um, and fish and chips. I became accustomed to them because we eat hospital food and it was cooked for us. It was beautiful, beautiful hospital food. And but when we are not working, we penny around, and some people will go down and get us some fish and chips, and we'll sit down and have it there. Our matron was one of the wars. She went to war in the Second World War, and she was pretty strict. And she was more or less like our second mum in there. She put down the rules for us, and we can't go somewhere. We always said, "Oh, we're going to go, blah blah, somewhere," and she'll say, "Well, you better make sure you're back about whatever time." And we're usually pretty good. Um, I did have I remember now when I remember back doing nursing, I did have a little Honda bike, a Honda 65, they call it. And I was the only nurse who had, I was the only one out of the 6 Tongan girls who had the license. But the police did not know which one got the license. They'd all meet the Tongan girls, but they're really not quite sure which one is which. So whoever's got the go on a bike would say that they are me, and they said, "Are you sure? Are you sure that that's your name?" It's, of course, that's me. And I'm sure they knew it was a game, and they played a game because we're only just, we're not really doing anything extravagant, just riding a bike in a rural country which is not really very busy. And then we always, because of our background and upbringing, we love going to church on a Sunday. And then we when we're off work, and then we join the youth group in there, in the Methodist Church, a youth group. We join in, and then I met up my future husband, and I didn't know it. We met up there at the youth group, and when I finished nursing, I married this beautiful man ever, and then I had 4 beautiful boys, and they're now, of course, dead themselves, and kids. And I just had one passed away when he was 18, and but God has always been good to me. And sometimes when I look back, and then look at my life, and sometimes I said to God, "However did you pluck me out of this little tiny spot of island in the world, in your world, and bless me with he blessed me with beyond my was it beyond my dream. He's blessed me more." And and I said to myself, "God, you look down there in the little island. How did you ever give that a scholarship to me. Because he changed my world. He absolutely changed my world. And my family as well was so blessed. And when I look back, here's little Mia, um, really, uh, you know, it's from nowhere. I get this scholarship, and she was the youngest. And I said to myself, it's got to be a God job because I really should not want this scholarship because I was only 17. The others was much older than me and more experienced than me. But my marks was very good on two subjects, which they were looking for, I'm sure. And for him to bless me like that and coming to this beautiful country, I love Australia. I absolutely love this land here, this country here. And the people that I have come across, they have blessed me with open arms and they have welcomed me. And I was talking to one of my friends that the other day that try and look back. I was being blessed because I have always had positive, um, positive reaction from people where I'm concerned. And being a servant in my job as a nurse, I have worked in many fields. I've been nursing I'm a theatre nurse and I work in theatre for 20 years and then go to aged care for another 20 years and district nursing for the rest of it. And in the middle of that, I also I did in Royal Women Hospital, also do deliveries and things in between. I have been extremely blessed right throughout my journey being in this country here. And but along in your journey, you do have some really, really good times. And when I lost my boy, there were sad times. And not long after that, I lost my husband as well. So there were some struggles in there, but I never ever failed to think, or no, I'd rephrase that. I always know that God was always beside me. Because some people said to me, some of my friends said, "How did you ever cope?" And I always say that without my faith, I don't really want to know where I would be right now. But with my faith and I always know God will always use your circumstances for blessings. Whatever your circumstances that you go through, you watch it down the road in your journey, it will be turned into a blessing down your journey. And you experience whatever you are in life. Down the track, you'll be helping somebody due to that experience, due to what you came through. You would be able to be a servant to someone else and help them in their journey. And at the moment, life is good. I have been remarried and very happy. But in every journey and in every relationship, there is always struggles, and you have to just go and believe in God that you know that whatever you're going through, He's there. You're the one moving away, but He's always there for you. If you just look, He's right beside you. And sometimes we move away due to whatever struggles that we have. But when you go through in healing and when you do go to prayer, you always know that God is always with you. And He has blessed me how many more and beyond whatever any child of God should. But we should have the very best, of course. We should have the very best. But I always believe that God will never leave you nor forsake you, because He's always there in our struggles. It's just that we just have to believe in Him, believe in Him, then in our struggles, there's always something there that He'll give you to learn your lessons and use it in your journey, because we're here as a servant. We're here as a servant of God to do to the needy people on this earth. You just got to help them, because that's why we're here. So I encourage you all, please don't ever give up. Don't quit. You just believe in God, and you just sit still and just let Him act. And yes, God bless you, and thank you.